Wow, man. To having both of the Kens, man. Now we're just missing Barbie. What's up? So instead of Barbie, though, how about if we get Nina White-Hodge? How about we get her in here because she's going to talk to us about something very powerful. She's got a book called Into the Dream. And she says, just like pastors instruct us and teach us about things that are complex in the word, God's given us ability and discernment where we can discern and interpret dreams, the power of our dreams. And I love my acronym for dreams, DREAMS, divinely revealed events awaiting manifestation supernaturally. So you want to listen to what Nina has to say. She's going to bless your heart, I know. And so, Nina, again, the doctor, the Juris Doctor, take it away and share with us a little bit about who you are and then the power of your book, Into the Dream.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Stan. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much, Dr. Smiley and Dr. Roz, aka Dr. Smile. I'm excited about that. When we talk about into the dream, I'm going to introduce myself just a little bit, just because my name is 789. Uh, just put a little bit on the end with that. But when I was 17 years old, my sister and her friends, we were all together, and one of the young ladies started talking about her dream. And then at the end of the dream, she said, I don't know what it means. And I kept thinking, well, it sounded very plain to me, and I understood what it meant. So my sister said, well, why are you looking like that? And I said, well, I was just thinking that this is what it means. So I said that to her. The young lady started crying, and I didn't know what I had said. But what I had said was that her dream was very prophetic, and there were things that were revealed in her dream that she did not say to anyone else. And so the only way I was able to know what it meant was because God had given me the interpretation of that dream. That continued. I'm a little bit older than 17 now, but that continued for several years. And, interpreting dreams, I became the interpreter, the dream interpreter amongst our friends. And so finally, my sister said, you've got to do something with this gift, and you need to write and to put it together in a book. Because at the time online, the only thing that you could find regarding dreams was like dream books, and they were had nothing to do with God, nothing to do with Jesus, nothing to do with the Bible. And so I went on a quest to put together Into the Dream. And what it is I want to give y'all the cliff notes, so that you'll know exactly what you're looking at whenever you begin to read the book. So there are several PowerPoints. I divided this book up into PowerPoints. And so I talk about dreams. I'm going to talk about there's like three different main levels of dreams, and that is literal. What is literal? Literal. Abimelech is an example of that. When God told him in a dream that that woman is married, and if you touch her, you're gonna die, and your whole kingdom will be destroyed. So very little literal in meaning, and so we have dreams like that. And then there is symbolism, which we're very familiar, or most of us are familiar with Joseph's story and the Pharaoh, and he dreamt about the fatted calves, and then the lean ones that eat up the fatted calves. And so when that happened, that's symbolism. But most of us actually have what is the third type of dream, which is a hybrid. It is something somewhere in between. Some of the things in there are very literal, and then some of the things are symbolism. You have no idea why there's a frog jumping around in your dream and those type of things. But with that, interpretation comes from God. All interpretation comes from God. And so I want you to, if you don't take anything else, remember this, that if it is not in alignment with the word of God, it is not most likely from God. So you've got to keep those things in perspective. With that, the book lays it out for you, lays out those literal dreams, goes into depth and detail about symbolism, about the hybrids that are in there. And then it's also going to give you a dream journal blueprint. So many people cannot remember their dreams. And so there's a blueprint on how you need to handle your dreams. I'm going to give y'all the cliff notes. RPA. Record, pray, and act. Record your dream. Even if you have to do it on your phone, record your dream. The book talks about that. Pray. You should be the first person that God speaks to about your dream. If you don't know the answer, pray about it first before you ever seek anybody else's input for your dream. And then, whatever is said, whatever God is telling you in that dream, act on it. Act on it. Do not pray about it. You already did that, but act on it. And then the book also talks about things that you should do or not do. If you sleep with the TV on, an example that's in the book, then you probably should not, because those are things that cloud your dream. They cloud your vision. They're like white noise. And so you can't hear correctly from the Lord. And so I encourage you in the book, I wrote the book, and we also hang out on Clubhouse every Saturday from 5:30 to 6:30. You know, we usually go past that time, but show up early. And we interpret dreams. And again, I want to leave you with that part. I started with it. I want to end with it. And that is, if the dream interpretation is not in alignment with the word of God, it's not from God. So, Dr. Stan, that's what I got.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, thank you so much, Nina. We appreciate that. So powerful. Folks, did you get that? She said literal, she said symbolism, and then the hybrid, right? And then make sure you do that RPA, that record, and then pray, and then act. Come on now. Awesome, awesome. Very powerful, very practical, very straight to the point. Thank you so much for that, Nina. And again, I guess we can figure out where to get the book. It's right there. And then the QR code's right there. All righty. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you did an awesome job and in time and everything. You did perfect. Thank you. All righty. God bless you. Hey, now Jeff, here we go, my man. Now, Jeff, is that an Italian last name? Mark, is it Mark? Pronounce that for
Martinet. It's actually French.
French. Okay, Martinet. All righty. Well,
Yeah.
Martinet. So Jeff Martinet, again, thank you, man, for being part of this.